Good morning, viewers. We have our esteemed guest, Dr. Vithal Kamat. He's known more to make introduction. Vithal Kamat was known for his exuberance, life of nature lover, a great hotelier and conservator, and also the artisan's lover. He did a wonderful life journey about the hotel industry and balancing the ecosystem of our country and to the world too. And today we are going to talk to Dr. Kamat with his insight, how Dr. Kamat bring to be, what is Dr. Kamat within. To try to explore Dr. Kamat, welcome to our show.
Namaskar.
Dr. Kamat, when you talk about the eco-hotel or eco-friendly hotel, you've did it, you're a pioneer in Asia, not only in India. What thoughts bring you to eco-hotel in India? To be a first Indian company or Indian organization to have the eco-hotel hotel in India, first Asia.
In Asia. Yeah. See, I have been injected with my parents the environment, hospitality, and culture and heritage. I believe that every industry should contribute and keep the mother nature intact. And that's why we started eco-sensitive hotel, eco-friendly hotel, which uses formula of three things: reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Yeah, but when we think about what was instinct that triggered to bring in the hotel business, the hotel hospitality world about the ecosystem and to make it a more eco-friendly hotel in the Indian circuit, the first Asian hotel. What was the trigger to this kind of concept you introduced in India, or rather Asia?
Mother Earth is being loaned to us by our ancestors. It is our duty to hand it over in a better condition to the future generation. That was the main focus.
When you talk about this challenging thought about the eco-hotel or green hotel, whatever you call it, point of time is a really pioneering idea. You may definitely face some challenges, the out-of-the-box theory. What was your willpower that you have wrote Italy, Orchid and willpower? So what was the willpower behind the decision we have taken out of the box and that point of time?
See, you may have courage, but the willpower, what is required, is a must. I was down 282 crore rupee debt. And then it was my parents, my few friends, and my well-wishers. And my willpower brought me out of a debt. And I wish that everybody who comes in trouble should come out with his willpower. And it's possible to do it. If an ordinary person like me can do it, why not others? They can also do it.
Dr. Kamat, you have a most successful hotelier in our country and to the Asian also. Talk about the whole story. Before I come to the more detail, the very interesting word always talk about Raghu Chivugali in Mumbai. This is something very viewers most interested to know that. What was the idea of this Raghu Chivugali?
See, Raghu is parrot in Marathi and Chivu is sparrow in Marathi. We have a lane here. I brought all the hoteliers together and we said, let's preserve. What is happening is now, because of the mobile phone and radiation, the small birds, they have no place to stay. So we created this at Orchid. We have around 600-700 parrots and more than 3,000 sparrows here and few squirrels. When people come, they enjoy. In fact, I get many emails from the guests that we want a parrot room. But you can meet parrot, greet parrot from most of the rooms of Orchid. So preservation actually is most important. I am just doing that and also giving ideas to people so they also feel now it's their duty. So मैं तो अकेला ही चल रहा था, रास्ते में कुछ लोग मिले और काफला बन गया.
There's a great idea about the Raghu Chivugali idea, but I also like to have the brand Orchid you have created. So the name Orchid, it suggests a lot of meaning. So when you choose a name, because you are a visionary person, your every thoughts, every deeds, there's a meaning. So when you choose a brand Orchid, what would be your thought process behind why Orchid?
Firstly, it's a flower. So with the environment, it goes well. But most important, when I traveled all over world, every airport had an orchid lounge. So I said, if the orchid lounge is at every place, why not? And orchid has 1100 varieties. So that's the most appropriate name. And orchid is also a very delicate flower. So we will take care of our guest, and we will also give as many orchid as possible. Right now we have more than 18 orchids, and we may have more.
It's a great, people have always talked about you, about your environmentalist, conservationist, and also you have a very good knowledge of artisan collector. You have called the Mother Museum. So what about this thought of being to be a mother, the meaning of mother, and also why you bring the name of the museum as a mother? What was the thought behind it?
Firstly, one word mother, compared it with no other. The first word of the infant, the last word of the brave. Tender and forgiving, let's value her while she is living. No truer word than the mother from the cradle to the grave. Eternally grateful to the mothers on the earth, Dr. Vithal Indira Venkatesh Kamat. So, why mother? Because she is the one whose child she takes utmost care. One may not know the father, but a mother and a child, it's a great, great equation. Love your mother, love your motherland, love with the mother tongue, and love your mother earth. This is the credo.
Yeah, and also you have known for your antique collections. And when you started this idea of the collection of antiques to preserve them for next generation, it's not kind of you have created museums. So you're not a lot of people have collection of antiques for their own, yeah. But you have making displays to showcase our tradition, history, and our culture. So how you feel it?
I started museum because my mother gave me when I was 8-year-old. One Laddu Gopal and few coins. And from there, I started collecting. My collection is last 64 years when I was 8-year-old. And then I met many Rajmatas, many great people. My neighbor was Mrs. Lokur. Her mother was a queen of Bhor Samsthan. So I started collection of antique. I collect only antiques, Indian antiques, and I want to donate or create 3 museums. Already we have at Fort Jadavgarh. We have already a small museum at Orchid Hotel. Other Orchid Hotels will also have it. But I would like to give it back to the nation. Yeah. What is my collection? That will be my contribution, because everyone has a duty to pay back to nature, to pay back to the motherland, and to pay back to Karma Bhumi. So this is my Karma Bhumi, Bombay. Everybody earns money and take it to their village. But then who will take care of Mumbai? Yeah. It's my Mumbai, and it's my duty to start something in Mumbai.
Yeah, but also you have always had respect to your heritage, and you have a fantastic restaurants, food habit for you. Said your grandma and mama's recipe. Yeah. So how this idea came to your mama's and grandpa's recipe to the world of guests?
See, this is in Marathi called lupta. Lupta means forgotten. Yeah. The food recipes are dying now. So the dying food art and recipes, I have started at Orchid at Vindhyas. We serve the 64 Vyanjans in a vegetarian restaurant and there's a queue, and people come from outside, from all over, and they eat, because these items are today not available. And they when I tell them, or my people tell them that this is Mr. Kamat, mother and grandmother's recipes, they immediately remind of their mother. Also, they pay respect to her cooking, and every mother has a different style of cooking. So that cooking they really appreciate. And I want that India, every 100 kilometers, the recipe changes. I want the Indians to be #1 in the world, because Indian culture, Indian heritage, Indian food recipe are different. And those things I wish continue. Somebody takes leaf out of it and also start his mother thing, and it will be a great thing. It will be a great motherland of exquisite cooking.
Yeah. So also you have in your younger days, you were in London for your experience. How when you have been there alone, I want to make your to share your those days of your working and cooking, and then make some different. I want to know this. What Dr. Kamat doing in London?
When I realized when I was 18-year-old that this food will do exceedingly well in Europe and London. So I started a restaurant. I started with idlis, and I was working for Shan restaurant in London. I got one day a Sadaji walked in. He wanted around 1,000 laddus. So I took I took help from the local people, and we made lovely laddus. Though they were not round, they were like laddus. And accidentally we put Bacardi in it, and those were the famous till today. That restaurant serves laddu with the Bacardi touch. So from there, see, like penicillin was discovered through accident only. Yeah. Same thing I had discovered. I opened around 26, 27 restaurants in Europe and America. All over the world, I got a chance to open around 649. The next one, 650th one, is in Jamnagar, and 651 will be Ayodhya within 45 days.
It's a great starting journey from Laddu to 650 outlets across the world. It's a great stuff to talk about. But when you have joined your father's restaurant after come back, what was your father? You have already said about your parents as a great influence on him. When you first joined your restaurant, what was your feeling that point of time? Now you're working with a father, and you're admired more.
I was shit scared of my father, his temperament, his style of working. He was a perfectionist, and he was a disciplinarian. I think he could have even showed or taught discipline to Hitler. And we were scared. But slowly, steadily, with my ability of working, with the results, and then the interest which I have taken in the industry, father started loving. He calmed down. And my mother was a main source. She said, Vithal, if you enter in this industry, you will make name in the world. And today, my mother's, her statement, her advice has come true.
Dr. Willie, during your professional career, you have said that in your book, your first meeting with Rai Bahadur Oberoi. That's an interesting story. My viewers should know about how Rai Bahadur Oberoi gave him impetus to you, and you make him bigger than him. Your thought process, you said upfront to him, I want to be a bigger hotelier than him. What was that feeling that time? You talk about the word to that time, a giant he was at that point of time. He was a great hotelier. And how you reacted?
Yeah. I studied in Marathi school. And in Marathi, there's a word, तुमच्यापेक्षाही मला मोठं व्हायचं आहे. That is a credit, that is a respect you normally give to the great person, great personality. And PRS Oberoi was my God. And one Mr. Gokte walked into a restaurant of Samrat, and he says, Mr. Oberoi is in Mumbai. So I just went in my chapels to meet my God. He asked it, and I touched his feet. So he said, Kantrardar ho? मैं कहा नहीं, hotelier, with my little chest coming out. He says, hotel है तुम्हारा, किधर है? मैंने कहा चर्चगेट में सत्कार, सम्राट, fully air conditioned. So he asked me, what do you mean by fully air conditioned? Prior to that, we had part portion as a air conditioned thing. And when I told him, he said, oh, you mean you have a restaurant? He thought there was a Samrat hotel in Delhi. So he thought it's Samrat Delhi. Yeah. And then he asked me, what do you want to become? And translating the Marathi style, I said, I want to be bigger than you, bigger hotelier than you. And he says, why not? And you will be surprised to know that in ITC Delhi, Mr. Oberoi was given a Lifetime Achievement Award, and I was given the India's Best Hotelier Award.
It's a great coincidence, not a coincidence, I said. It's a perseverance of a dream which you achieved it. And now what about, you're talking about the ecological, environmental thing. I'm talking, Dr. Kamat, as an environmentalist, to what should we take the measure? The world is facing a climate changes crisis in Europe, in India, everything. What is your thought process to make we can combat with our thoughts, our ideas, and give back to the Mother Nature?
See, if everybody becomes responsible, they think you get everything free, but they don't realize there's a value. The most important is the water. There may be a war for not petrol, but for water within 10 years. Your natural resources has to be preserved. I was in Iceland, and they allow limited visitors there, limited tourists, and may time come that you may have to bring in each country very limited people. Secondly, the plastic. Plastic is the biggest disaster. So I think it is a compulsory, and it should be compulsory, that you carry your own water bottle, not the plastic bottle. Packaging is being destroyed, or it is being thrown. And we Indians are supposed to take care, because now what is happening in the entire world, and especially in India, there is a lot of garbage. We convert our garbage into manure, and we use it for our plants. You see, our plants are laughing because they are green, because they get excellent manure. Whatever goes into waste, we convert it. So reduce, reuse, recycle system has to be followed, has to be adapted sincerely. It is not that it's a lip sympathy you do. No, it has to be injected, and that part has to be there in classroom only. See, if you inject your children from the childhood, they will preserve it. So that's very important.
Yeah, you are talking about conservation also. So what was your thought process to conserving our Mother Nature in more valuable to the next generation, which is really, you're talking about now scarcity of water, and you have seen that the COVID time, we have scarcity of oxygen, which was plenty in nature. So you have seen also the COVID period. What is your thought process? Because you are more visionary rather than hotelier.
I will not consider myself visionary. I will consider this is a duty of every individual. Oxygen, you get it free, so you feel that there is no value. Sorry, when there will be scarcity, you have seen it in COVID, that the most you used to pay money to get oxygen, to get pure water, even to get to your atmosphere. The duty of every individual is to respect Mother Nature. Most important, preserve the culture, rich heritage. We Hindus, we had that in our system only. It was not a religion. It was a part of a duty. And because some of the people did not believe in it, they have converted into a religion. So Pancha Mahabhuta has to be respected. And if you respect them, I'm sure you will maintain the better world for tomorrow.
And now, Dr. Kamat, I'd like to come back to, you're starting with your struggling time of 280 crore debt. And you have wrote something, story about in a book. It's a really fantastic stuff about the painters of painting the high building, and that's given impetus to you. This is a time because every people, you talk about the Shakespearean dilemma, to be or not to be. So that particularly stuff is, I like to mention you, what was during that point of time when you have a 280 crore debt and you're absolutely clueless, and you have said some of the interview that you have no guts to suicide. So what was the feeling going on, and how you cope up with that? Because this is an eternal truth, you're facing it.
While making this hotel Orchid, my chartered accountant and one of the relative brought someone to buy this hotel. My father used to wear normal dhoti and a plain shirt. So one of the biggest builder, he challenged me. He said, your father wears dhoti, you cannot open a 5-star hotel. And that spark was enough for me to rise. I tried to make this hotel, but as it was coming to the completion, my chartered accountant, my family member wanted to sell it. And I just wanted my father to be a dhoti wearing person, to sit in the chair as a chairman. And we did it because I realized that it is determination, dedication, and discipline which make your destiny. And I made my destiny with the orchid.
Yeah, but that's true. But what was you have wrote in a book about feeling that point of time? So I need to know about this. This you have to throw light because this will create a more important thing to the other entrepreneurs because every day 280 crore, maybe 1 crore, maybe 1,000 crore, but the fight in between to be or not to be always there. So how you address this to be or not to be dilemma?
Yeah. Firstly, I was also to commit suicide because I didn't find any way to come out of it. And I went to my friend's place at Nariman Point near Status Restaurant. I started that restaurant. And then it was 6:45. I was driving down, I parked my car, and I saw the sun was downing, and I saw the sun was going down and nobody was paying respect. No, and I realized, Dubta suraju koi pujita nahi. But when I went to my friend's place, I thought I'll drink 2-3 pegs and will have courage to commit suicide. Because suicide is bad. Nobody should do it. But I had no courage also. But I saw opposite building, there was a painter who was standing on the parapet of 24th floor of Union Bank. And he came on the 23rd floor without belt. We are compulsory that you have to have safety belt on a project. But he didn't have the safety belt. I said, he will die. He came on 23rd. He came on 22nd. When he came down, he was my guru. I said, Vithal, this man is getting 6,000 rupee and he is taking so much of risk. What are you? You have everything. And I realized that I should not commit suicide. Early morning, next 6:30, I was coming down. I saw the same sun coming up, everybody praying for him. And I said, Dubta suraj koi pujita nahi, kal fir niklunga, devta ban jaunga.
It's a great thought about Dr. Kamat, about your life and talking about this talk about thing. And also you have mentioned your book, which is really a good talk about the willpower, about your father's doctor's episode, which is really how do you felt when the his doctor says no hope, and your father comes in and say, I will not die before you open your first hotel. Yeah. So what that time you give me an impetus of your emotional quotient when you heard about doctor and your father. It's also a dilemma for you. Yeah. One side is science, or of course the scientific observations of doctors. Another part of your belief in your father and believes the willpower. So what it should be a dichotomy in your mind. What's that moment I want you to breathe in?
I was with the doctor in ICU, Dr. Bhatt. He told me that please call all the relatives. I said, why? He says he can't see tomorrow. So I said, if you would have been your father, what you would have done? Immediately replied, I would have also called the relatives. But I saw one finger of father moved. So I went near him and I said, Papa, what? He said, ask doctor to perform surgery. I will not die till your hotel is complete. And you will be surprised. After that, the surgery was performed and he lived for 5 years. So this is what willpower is. One more thing. One fine morning he called me. He says, I'm going to die in 10 minutes. And I was shocked. And he said, don't put any needle on me. And he was dead after 15 minutes.
So now you have very strong rooted about your life with your parents, with your heritage, particularly your parents.
I would like to correct. he left his soul for heaven journey. So I won't call it a death. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big, because I definitely, you have the parents have always living with you with your journey, your life, and what you will talk about. Your success is the blessings of all your predecessors and all. What is most in you always carry forward to your parents, mother and father? Which use the words for you always remember to give him a triggered you as a Dr. Vithal Kamat? For go ahead.
See, those days, negative motivation was a biggest thing. Today, if you give negative motivation to your children, they may commit harakari. So he used to say, "ये आप लोगों से कभी होने वाला नहीं है." So that gave me a tremendous boost to do it. So anything he said impossible, I made it possible with their blessings, but willpower was coming from him only.
Yeah, it's a great, I think you have a great journey of your life from 8 years, from Laddu Gopal to today's Dr. Vithal Kamat. What was, you felt this journey contributes to the country, to the mother nation, to your family, and for the next generation? What do you feel that what Dr. Vithal Kamat has be remembered?
Yeah. I should be remembered as a good human being. I should be remembered as one of the finest hotelier. I should be remembered as one of the finest antiquarian, and I should have been remembered as a good son of my parents. If I am remembered as a good husband, it will be additional. In any case, I have done what I am supposed to do. If the death comes tomorrow also, I will accept it and I will be on that journey.
That is also a journey, what the philosophy said. But of course, you have some vision you want to do in the next few years, or your vision for what you want to see our country, and your thought process, your legacy, how to be continued. What was your vision on that?
My vision is, if everybody in India thinks it is possible to do impossible possible, then it will be a great country. Secondly, we should give enough scope to the new generation, and new generation only can do impossible possible.
So what was your next impossible to make it possible in your mind?
My next impossible to make possible is to bring and to give eyesight to 3 crore people. I started my eyesight bank. I also started the organ bank. So I will be a catalyst. I will be giving the names. I've collected the donors, and our job is to meet the donor and the receiver. That's what. So I have a target of 3 crore people to get eyesight and the organs.
It's a great for humanitarian work you always do. And I always said Dr. Vithal Kamat is more than not only a hotelier or a businessman, he is also a great humanitarian that I would love to say about you. But what I also say about now a little bit of a business aspect. What is your next impossible to make possible to world of business, see from Dr. Kamat?
Business comes when you have a reputation. Now we are entered Gujarat. We are entering the Uttarakhand, Simla, and also Punjab. जिंदगी की असली उड़ान अभी बाकी है, जिंदगी के कई इम्तिहान अभी बाकी है, अभी तो कर ली बस मुट्ठी भर जमीन, सारा आसमान अभी बाकी है. Thank you.
It's a great thought. It's a great thought. And now you have just see the view of Dr. Kamat's vision, his ideas, his love for the nation, and everything done. And really, really a pleasure to talking with Dr. Kamat for his insight of life. Thank you.